Alright, Nightmare on Elm Street. Now we're talking. The original film by Wes Craven is considered to be one of the best slasher films of all time, and I agree with that sentiment. The film is scary and it's full of tons of creativity. The concept alone is great. The fact that when you're sleeping, someone's trying to get you. What makes this film great is Freddy Krueger. He is the star of this franchise, and for a good reason. He is a wisecracking serial killer who wants to take his time and use all his powers to make sure that his victims suffer. He knows that he'll get everyone eventually, since everyone has to go to sleep, and he will do it in the most vicious way possible. Speaking of which, the effects in this film are fantastic. The creativity matched with the amazing visual effects makes this a very fun horror movie to watch. And it really does a good job in this film in particular on making the dream world feel like a dream. See, it's kind of like the real world, but it's slightly different, which is how it's really like when you go to sleep. You know what I mean when you sleep. Everything is similar, but it's different, and that's how it feels every time the characters go in the dream world, and it's very done incredibly well. Future films will go wacky and zany, but this film really is grounded on how to approach this stuff. So yeah, this film is pretty great, but is there any flaws? Of course there is. The mom character sucks. I think the actress is terrible. She does like a really bland and flat performance that sucks. This character could have worked, but she just comes off as a complete bitch who's wooden as hell. She like hates her daughter, I guess, or wants to overprotect her randomly. She sucks. The ending also sucks. Like, this weird-ass shot of Freddy just disappearing is I always found really goofy. And then everything's back to normal. All the characters who died are now alive, but maybe they're not. I don't really understand it. Is it another dream? Well, this ending isn't scary. It's goofy. It's funny, which is not the rest of the tone of the film, so that's why it's so jarring. Like this part where the car's like Freddy Krueger and the kids are like, oh my god! But it's not scary, it's funny. So it's like, I don't know what they're going for. I think there's a problem with the studio editing this. That's probably the main reason why this is so weird. It's more funny than scary, which is not what you're supposed to be on a horror movie. And then the mom gets sucked through the window like a rag doll and it looks awful. It really feels like they really didn't know how to end this film, or the studio interference. I believe there's some studio interference with the ending. But yeah, with sequels, they just never acknowledge what the fuck even happens in this ending. I'm not even joking. So, fun fact, it's the first ever film appearance of Johnny Depp, and he has one of the most iconic deaths in the whole franchise. I mean, geez Louise, this is a really creative death. Like getting sucked into your own bed. I'm sure this scene scared a lot of kids. By the way, if I'm not mistaken, this scene was filmed upside down. That's how the blood effect works. Pretty neat. So yeah, this movie's pretty good. One of the reasons I like it, I'm actually a pretty big fan of the leading girl here, which is Final Girl as they call them, Nancy, who is probably my favorite of all the horror movies. I like her a lot. I know some people say, oh, she's not the great actor. I don't care. I like her a lot. And then there's this one cock tease scene where, like, oh, it looks like, oh, she's naked, but, oh, you don't see the front. Like, fuck you, dude. I wanted to see the front. Fuck, she's hot as shit. I'm not joking. I wanted to see the front. Also, she says at one point, oh, I look like I'm 20, which, you know, she was 20 in this film, but she's character's supposed to be younger. I found that really funny. You're like, oh, I'm getting so old, I look 20. Yeah, I really like her. She fights back against Freddy pretty well, and she basically has to do this alone because no one really believes her. I mean, how are you going to prove that there's a guy attacking you in your dream, especially when your mom's an alcoholic? So yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say about the original Nightmare on Elm Street. There's not a whole lot to say that hasn't been said by many people before. But this is not the first film we're going to be doing this franchise. We're going to cover every single one. So stay tuned as next time we cover the Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge.